Hello, everyone. Good morning and welcome to Training Thursday. I am Kelly O'Neill, your host in the Marketing to Millionaires Success Circle. So as you are jumping on, please do let us know that you are here. If you've got a Profit Concierge, make sure you tag your Profit Concierge and give yourself a little shameless plug as you introduce yourself and let us know what you are up to in your business. Okay. Also, please make sure that you give StreamYard access to your name so that I can see you in my comments. Like I just saw Tanya English pop up. Hello. Good morning, Miss Tanya. How are you? So just a little bit of housekeeping before we get started here today. And that is for those of you who are brand new to the circle, because we have a lot of brand new members, I want to welcome you to our Training Thursday program. So every single Thursday, I go live for our training. I go live for our training in here. And what we do is I go live with our training and I give you guys topics based on what you want to hear most. So a lot of people are asking things today about messaging and positioning, which is my area of expertise. So I'm going to be sharing with you about that today. Also, we've got a variety of other opportunities for you here in the circle, including access to free content. We actually have, those of you know who have done your welcome call, we have the opportunity for you to get our Introduction to Marketing to Millionaires digital course, which is $1,000 value. You get that when you've held your welcome call with the concierge or with our welcome team. And we also do every quarter, we do or every 6 to 8 weeks or so, we do a profit intensive. And so we've got our next profit intensive coming up in January. So we will be letting you guys know about that as soon as possible. But we do have a very special announcement at the end of this class. It is a free opportunity for those of you who want to master your message, for you to participate in a private, I'm doing a small series of private closed door meetings with some hot seats and some other things. So I'm going to tell you about that at the end of the workshop. So make sure that you stay tuned and also make sure that you are letting us know that you are here live in the comments or if you're watching the replay as well. So for those of you who are brand new to me and maybe you found us on a Facebook ad or someone referred you here, let me just let you know a little bit about me and this circle. So again, my name is Kelly O'Neill. I'm a brand marketing and profit strategist that specializes in helping entrepreneurs around the world market to affluent clients. And ultimately, I help people scale their businesses by making sure that they are well positioned to be the leaders in their marketplace, to make sure that they are able to offer those high priced programs and services, and to attract those ideal clientele that they're going to need. In order to build that profitable business. So I've been doing this for 20 years. I had a very successful career in corporate America previously, where I did brand positioning and public relations for high-tech companies. But in 2001, I decided to go out on my own and I started my company. And this is what I have been doing for entrepreneurs and emerging companies and organizations for the last 20 years. So I have a podcast. Let me hear from my podcast subscribers down there. My podcast is Marketing to Millionaires. It's of course on all the places where podcasts can be found. And again, we've got a bunch of juicy resources available in here for you guys to market to affluent clients. Now, if you are brand new here, please make sure you're checking your emails from us and that you've gone through the welcome process, because we've provided everyone a temporary 30-day access. And after 30 days, if you've not followed the process, then unfortunately we do remove you and you have to reapply. So we want to make sure that you can stay in here. So double check that. If you've got any questions, you can of course reach out to our help desk or anyone on the Kelly O'Neill team. All right, so we are going to dive in and we are going to talk about strategic positioning and mastering your message and why this is so absolutely critical critical. It is not optional. It is critical in today's marketplace. And I'm also, again, at the end of this call, I'm going to be giving you guys some insight into how to get access to this closed door meeting, as well as free access to one of our signature programs so that you can prepare for the meeting. All right. So first of all, I want to share with you what strategic positioning is, because most people, I've seen this, and it just, again, this is what I've been doing my entire career since I was 19 years old, and I started as an intern in a brand marketing agency. Most people, when they throw around the word positioning, they are using it incorrectly. And it just kind of makes me cringe, because it is the bedrock of your entire business communications. If you are not positioned well, you will have a very hard time, if having any ability at all, to succeed in the marketplace. You will work significantly harder than you would have had to otherwise, right? The positioning does the work for you. And especially now, where there's so much noise in the marketplace, if you are not well positioned in your market and in your business, you are in a race to the bottom to go out of business. And I don't say that to be like a scaremonger. I'm telling you that because I'm watching it happen over and over and over again. We have a lot of people that come to us from other programs in the market. And when they're coming to us from other programs, the programs are great, but and I've even been in some of them. I was just having this conversation the other day. I was doing a strategy call with a new client, and she was in this other program, and she is like, I'm following the program to the T. I'm doing everything that they're telling me to do. I did this, I'm doing this. And she started naming all these tactics. I'm doing the podcast, I'm doing the social posting, I'm doing the reach outs, I'm doing the direct messaging, like I'm doing everything. And I've been working at this for 6 months tirelessly, and I'm not getting any traction. It took me 5 minutes to look at what she was doing to say, it's because you have no position. You have no position and no clear messaging. So it does not matter how much crap you throw out into the marketplace. If you sound like everyone else and you're not clear in why people should buy from you, all you're doing is creating noise, right? All you're doing is creating noise. And so literally she wasted 6 months of her time. And I see this all the time, right? I see people that have wasted decades, years, a year, months, working on things or putting all of this this energy into what it is that they want to do. And ultimately the reason that it's not getting any traction, it's not that there was anything wrong with the podcast, or there wasn't anything necessarily wrong with the way they were posting on social. It's that they had no positioning and no clear messaging. And so it was just falling on deaf ears. And in fact, they're ultimately turning people away right and left, and they don't even know it, right? It is absolutely critical and essential. And again, I do not say this lightly. If you do not have this, you are in a race to the bottom. That's what's going on. You're in a race to the bottom of going out of business. Okay. Because if you do not stand out and you do not differentiate yourself, you are invisible, especially anywhere, but especially in the online market. So what positioning means, and I want to talk about the difference between positioning and messaging. So strategic positioning is the way in which you communicate the unique value and the key benefit of the service that you provide in the marketplace. Okay. So how you position yourself is you are putting yourself into a one-of-a-kind spot in the marketplace, right? It is an uncontested market. So let me give you an example, because I know that we have a lot of different types of businesses in here. We've got a lot of different types of, lawyers and interior designers and, coaches and consultants and like all different types of people. But let me give you a very specific example, because I do tend to attract a lot of coaches. So when I started in business. And I'm going to give you an example of how I positioned myself and became the go-to, because I am the go-to expert in the entire world for marketing to affluent clients for service-based professionals, right? I have it locked up. No one is even, even if they try to copy my stuff or they try to like, no one is coming close to what it is that I'm doing, what I've been teaching. And the way that I got there is, when I got into business, right? When I got into business, and then I eventually, I decided in 2003 to, really focus on entrepreneurs. Back then, there was not a lot of business coaches. Okay. There just weren't. And it was like me and one other lady who is still around to this day. She approached things from more of an organizational development perspective. I approach things more from a strategic positioning, brand marketing, and platform building perspective. And so when I was doing business coaching, it was a relatively new thing. And so it was okay for me to go out and say, I'm a business coach. And what I do is I work with entrepreneurs to help them develop strategies to build their business and to create profitability. And that in itself, because it was such a new thing, it set me apart from anyone else they were talking about, or they were talking to, because, previous to that, they were just going to the accountant, or they were going to a web design agency, or they were, it was very tactical. Now, again, this was many years ago. Okay. Well, then what ended up happening is, as coaching gained popularity, and by the way, I actually never was a business coach. I was always a business strategist because I had the background that I have. When all these coaches started to come flooding into the market, and by the way, a lot of them didn't have experience. They just knew that they could make a lot of money doing that. And so they would kind of take other people's ideas and then teach them. And the market started to get away from, it started to get saturated. And I realized, and then also I realized, because we were going into a recession, that I had to reposition my business, because if I didn't, then I was going to get lost in the shuffle, and I didn't want to get lost in the shuffle. And so I asked myself, what is the thing that I can provide to people that when I provide this, right? When I provide this is going to dramatically provide them with something that is not available out in the marketplace today, and that ultimately is going to help them reach their goals much faster than if they were doing it any other way, and that I can be in an uncontested market, meaning that there was no one teaching or talking about this. Okay. And so based on my background, and also based on the way that I grew up, I came to this idea, right? This strategic positioning of positioning myself as the expert in marketing to millionaires. So I was teaching entrepreneurs and service-based professionals how to market premium services to premium buyers that would build their business for them. There was no one else doing this, right? There was nobody else doing this in the market. And so the minute that I repositioned myself and repositioned my company and repositioned my service offering, right? Because your big P positioning is the strategy in which you're going into the marketplace, right? So I decided, by the way, you guys, I wasn't doing anything different than I was doing before, right? I was still providing the same exact consulting service that I was before. I was talking about it different, and I was kind of putting the proverbial flag in the sand of, I'm the person you go to when you want to market to affluent clientele, right? I am the marketing to millionaires person. I'm the person that, handles the affluent market segment. So in doing that, I was like completely different than anybody else in my marketplace. And the result of that was, not only did we get people from around the world flocking to us for services. But in addition to that, I started to get invited to be on all the business coaches, back then we did teleseminars or their stages to speak. I got invited to be everywhere. And the reason why is because I was no longer in competition with anyone. So that is ultimately the strategic position that I took in the marketplace. Now, again, I could have said, I'm a brand marketing consultant. Like, I help you figure out your positioning and your brand. Right? Or I'm a business coach and I help people develop business strategies that are going to get them the results that they want. Right? But that's not helpful and it doesn't differentiate you. So in your positioning, in the way that you position yourself, when people come to me and they start telling me, what it most often sounds like is they're telling me what their profession is. It would kind of be like if a lawyer, like an estate planning attorney came to me and said, well, what I do is I help people plan their estates and I help them protect their assets and I help them make sure blah, 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 blah. And you start describing what an estate planning attorney does. Does that make sense? It's like, that's not a position. That's a job description. And I see this all the time. Right? And I see it is that you're actually explaining what it is that your job description is. That's not a position. And that's why if you look out into the marketplaces and you listen to people describing what they do, they all sound the same, which means that you're just making noise because people are like, oh, I've seen that before. I've seen that before. And they just check out. Right? Especially now because the online marketplaces are so flooded. They're so flooded. So people just absolutely check out. And when they check out, they're no longer paying attention to you. So it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you it doesn't matter if you do promotions out your nose. It doesn't matter. When the message doesn't grab, all you're doing is making noise. And if you're making noise, you are now invisible because people are tuning out the noise now more than ever before, right? Who resonates? I hear Ariel says, this makes so much sense. Yes, it does. And this is why a lot of the other programs in the marketplace are not effective because people come in there, they do not have any strategic positioning, they do not have any messaging, and they jump into action, and then they're doing all the things, whether it be the webinar, the podcasting, the social media, the social selling, the different various launch platforms that are out there. And it's not that those things don't work. In a lot of cases, they actually do work. The problem is if you do not back up and get your messaging and your positioning done first, none of those things matter. It is the very first thing that we do in our programs is help people get clear on that, because there's zero point in taking any action there's 0 point in taking any action until you've got that message clear. And if you decide to change your message, right? If you decide to change your message, then you got to go back and you got to retool all of your communication strategies. Okay. So that is what positioning is. It is the way in which, when I talk about big position, you can also position a product. You can also position an event. You can always, you can position different things. I call those little P positions, right? I call it little P positions. Those are important too, but you have to have the overarching positioning strategy in your business. What are you going to be known for? What are people like? What is the thing that you're going to be known for that when someone says, well, I'm looking for someone, it's like, oh, that's the person you talk to. That is the core expert that you need to talk to in the market. That is what you need to find out. All right. Messaging are the things that support the position. Messaging are the things that support the position. So in messaging, we're talking about utilizing language to concisely and easily communicate the benefit to the buyer, right? No one cares. I will tell you, and your affluent clients don't care either. No one cares what you do. All they care about is the result that you are going to get for them, right? That's all they care about. So when people start to also come to me and they talk about like all the tools they use or the different certifications I have, no one cares. I don't mean to, I'm being on it. I have a gazillion certifications too. You will not hear me mention them because no one cares. The only thing that they care about is what you can do for them, right? And how it's going to impact their bottom, their life, their business, or whatever else. Okay. So again, it's absolutely critical because without this, you're wasting all your time and money on marketing. You're wasting your time and money. Like I can't even do a brand. You guys know I own a brand agency. I can't even do a brand without positioning the client first. Like that's the first thing we do in the brand strategy is identify the company position. We don't just make pretty stuff because it's ineffective and all it is noise. That's it. Right? So we need to make sure the message is crystal clear. The positioning is crystal clear. That is the very first thing we do before we do anything. All right. I'm just looking at my notes here. So once you've got that positioning statement and you've got your messaging clear and you know what it is that you do in the marketplace that is different than what anyone else does, right? And there is a way, I will tell you right now, there's always a way to create that position for yourself. It doesn't matter if you're in a completely saturated market. I work with people all the time that are in totally saturated markets, and I help them find the needle in the haystack because it's always there. It's always there. And the challenge is that especially if that's not your genius, right? Especially if that's not your genius, or it's like I use the phrase, it's like reading a label of the bottle from the inside. You're in it, right? People have a really hard time explaining what they do, especially in service-based industries. It's not like, it's not like you're a pen manufacturer and you're like, I market a pen and this is what my pen does. And this is why my pen is different. And oh, it's got this little light on it, which is a feature that makes it, and the benefit of this feature is that, you can see when you're writing. It's more challenging to do this with a service. And it's more challenging to do this in a service when there's a gazillion other people doing what you do, but it's completely possible, right? It's completely possible. Again, look, marketing to millionaires, right? How did we change what everyone was doing? It's like, I'm doing the same thing I did before. So it's possible to figure it out. It's possible to figure it out. Okay. And then what you do is you utilize that positioning in your elevator pitch, right? Which I teach a very specific form of elevator pitch that actually, thanks, Laura. Actually, Laura, is it Lara or Laura? I'm not sure. I'm going to go with Laura. If you like this pen, just send my my team a message. I'll send you one. It's actually our company's pen, so we'll send you one. Now, don't everyone flood me because I'm not going to sit here and become a mailer. But since she said it, I'm going to give her one. All right. So what do you do with it? We teach a very specific thing called the one-liner elevator pitch. And the reason we do that is very strategically to create a pattern interrupt. And this is how we actually help people hone their unique position. We help them hone their unique position through the exercise of creating a one-liner elevator pitch. You are going to use this on your website. You are going to use this in all of your marketing material. You are going to utilize this position in everything that you do, right? You're going to utilize it anytime you go live. You're going to utilize it anytime that anytime that you speak. You're going to use it anytime that you go to a networking event or you meet someone. You're going to use it over and over and over and over and over again, right? And everything that you do in marketing relates back to that position because you're either building your brand position or you're breaking it. Okay. So that is it. That is what it is. It's like you're going to adapt that position and it will be used everywhere. Okay. I want to give you guys a couple important points that you need to know. It is not about you. So a lot of times when I'm working with service-based providers and especially if they're newer in business, they start to talk about like, well, what I'm really passionate about is, and that's great, but your buyer doesn't really care what you're passionate about. I mean, I know that that sounds harsh, but it's true. What do they care about? They care about the results that you're going to be able to help them achieve. That's it, right? The experience, the results, whatever the thing is, it is not about you. All right. It also must be super easy to communicate. I help entrepreneurs market to millionaires so that they can increase profitability and generate massive referral business. Simple. Super simple. Some of our one-liners that I've helped with, I'm trying to think of some good ones. And if you guys have worked with me and I've given, I've done your one-liners for you, it just immediately tells people what the person does and what the benefit is for you, right? For the person that's buying. And then they know, is this for me or is this someone I can refer to? But the one-liner and the way that we do elevator pitches is completely different over here. That is the expression of the positioning and message. Okay. So the elevator pitch is then the expression of the position and the message, but you have to be able to immediately communicate it. So Annette Presley, who's a client of mine, she's in our Profit-logy business incubator. She's also a branding client of mine. Her one-liner is, I make mommies, right? I make mommies. So what she, and again, the whole point is to get someone to say, the way that you want people to say, tell me more. What do you mean you make mommies? Right? And then it goes into the elevator pitch formula. Okay. And the reason for that is because, love it. I can see Dennis is on here. I help CEO warrior women slow down and temper their road rage so they can create impact with ease. Okay. So again, now it's like very clear who they're talking to, what the problem is, what's going on. And it also has that element of, what does that mean? Temper their road rage. Like, what does that mean? And then you go, well, you know how, and then we have a very specific formula that we use. Okay. So it's getting that. I love it. I see Robin's on here too. I'm an energetic bushwhacker for accelerated business results. Do you guys see how this is? So Robin, she's actually my business energist. You should all connect with her. So, instead of just saying like, I'm a healer or I do energy work, I'm an energetic bushwhacker. Doesn't that make you go, well, wait a minute, I've never heard of an energetic bushwhacker before. Tell me what that means, right? That's what you're looking for in your elevator pitch and your messaging. Okay. So it must immediately communicate the result that you are creating for the buyer. And okay, that's number one. Okay. Tanya English, another one. I help women who have experienced stillbirth and pregnancy loss go from grief to grace. We find the treasure in the tragedy. Very clear. Okay. Again, Tanya is a healer, right? So instead of saying like, I'm a healer and what I do is I work with energy to, help, people get results. It's like we picked a very clear market niche and positioned ourselves in the niche where she stands out from anyone else. And it's very clear what she does, right? So these are some of the examples from my clients. So that's the third thing, right? So number one, it's not about you. Number two, it has to be super simple to communicate. And number three is it must differentiate you. It must differentiate you. The biggest accelerant in the race to the bottom is sounding like everyone else. When you are providing a job description instead of a strategic marketing position, you are in a race to the bottom. You are in a race to the bottom. And let me just tell you that the race to the bottom is accelerating now because of the recession, because of COVID, that sort of thing. So because of what's going on in the marketplace, if you do not have this nailed now, like honestly, and I can hear some of you going, well, what do I do? Like, do I just stop marketing? Honestly, you need to stop because you're not doing any good anyways, right? You're just throwing spaghetti at the wall that's uncooked. It's not going to stick. So you can keep throwing and work on your bicep because it's fun, or you can stop and get this nailed and get it nailed now. Okay. So one of the questions I want you to ask yourself in creating this messaging is you need to ask yourself, first of all, you have to have your ideal client profile, right? Which if you did the Marketing to Millionaires Intensive, you should have that. You must have your ideal client profile, and you must understand what your ideal client's problem worth solving is. What is their problem worth solving? What is the thing that they are experiencing right now that is urgent and necessary for them to solve, right? What is their problem worth solving? The thing that they're going to be like, I need to solve this now. I need to get on the phone with someone who can help me. Okay. That's number one. The second thing that you need to understand is what your unique skill set is. What is the thing that is in your genius zone, right? What is the thing that you do better than anybody else? What is the thing that people would easily write you a check for? So for me, I can tell you that at the end of the day, the thing that I do better than anything else, and the thing that I do better than anyone else in the industry, is strategic brand positioning, right? That is my bailiwick. That and business strategy. That's it. I am a strategist. I have other things, but my zone of genius, I'm able to create. I am able to create their market position like this very quickly. And most, business mentors don't even understand what it is, let alone they can't do it. For some reason, that was what the universe installed in me when I got into my work. It's very, very easy for me, right? I'm able to see it really quickly for people. You want to build your business strategy around that core level of genius, okay? And then the third thing is, how are you then going to set up your business strategy and communicate your positioning in a way that differentiates it from everybody else out there? What is the thing that you are doing uniquely different than anybody else, right? And there's that uniqueness of what it is. So it could be a uniqueness in the way that you're positioning your niche. It could be in the target market that you're going after. It could be in a proprietary process that you have. It could be in but it has to be different. They have to be able to say, it needs to be super, super, super clear as to why they're going to buy you over everybody else and what the result is, right? What do you offer that others don't? What is the, what are the specific benefits that your clients are going to get from working with you? When you put those things together, right? When you put those things together, you are going to have a winning market position. You are going to have a winning market position. Okay. So that is how we get a marketing statement. Now, some of you, right? Some of you are going to be sitting here being like, this sounds great. And I've been trying to figure this out for years and I need help. Well, this is exactly what we do for people. And so my team and I have decided that throughout the rest of the year, I'm going to be running 6 mini live consulting workshops. Okay. Now, you are going to have to get in touch with your Profit Concierge, and you will have to have completed the welcome calls in order to even get access to this, right? We are only looking, these are not for everybody, right? I'm only going to be allowing a limited number of people on these calls. They're going to be Zoom calls, and I'm going to be hot seating at least 3 people in an hour where you're going to see me help with their positioning, and you're going to see how it's done. Okay. You're going to see how it's done. So if you want the opportunity to apply for one of those hot seats, then this is exactly what needs to happen. Number one, you need to get in touch with your profit concierge. Okay. In order to qualify to even be able to do this, because you guys, I charge a lot of money to position people, right? Because it makes they literally can't do business well without it. So people pay me, 15 grand for a day to position them. So, but we're doing this for our community. So in order to qualify, you have to, number one, you have to have done your welcome call. So you have to get on the calendar and complete our welcome process, because this is not for everybody. Number two, we are going to be giving you, we will have your register, right? And there's a process that you're going to be going through for this, because we want to make sure that we're really focused on helping the people that are serious about their business and are serious about showing up. Like, this is not the thing. I'm just going to tell you right now, this is not the thing that you register for and you're like, well, I'll see if I can make it. Don't do it. Like, don't do it, right? We expect if you register for this and we put you into one of those spots that you will show up, right? So this is a huge opportunity that we are providing for people, and like, I would like for it to be honored and valued, right? So don't even apply if you're not serious about your business, or you're not planning on showing up and attending and doing the work, then just don't even register. Do not waste my Profit Concierge time, please. Okay. So then what we're going to do is we'll get you registered for the event, and we are going to give you our elevator pitch training. And then what's going to happen is you're going to have to show up live to the event. And at the event, and we're going to put you in. And let me just tell you, if you miss the event, you're not getting back in. Right? So if you miss your time slot, you don't get back in. That's it, right? Yes, exactly, Amy. Business hobbyists need not apply. If you're playing business, you won't even last in the circle. So what we're going to do is you'll show up, and I'm going to randomly select 3 people who are ready to deliver me their elevator pitch, and I'm going to workshop it with you right there on the spot. A minimum of 3. Depending on how quickly they go, there could be more. So this is a huge opportunity, and we've got a variety of different times. We've got times in the early morning. We've got times in the afternoon, depending on where you are. So again, let me recap this. I'm going to be doing these mini positioning workshops, right? I'm going to be doing a mini positioning workshop. In order for you to apply and to qualify, you have to have done your welcome meeting with our Profit Concierge and completed our welcome process. Number one. Number two, we're going to give you, we will give you a copy of our course on how to create an affluent, attractive one-liner elevator pitch. You've got to take the course, and you got to show up prepared. And I am then going to be providing you with, I'm going to be randomly choosing people. And let me just tell you, how you show up over the next 6 weeks in this group will impact it. Like, if you're showing up, if you're commenting, if you're letting us know you're here and you're serious, we're going to choose you, right? So I want you guys to, this is something we are doing as a give back. It's like my holiday present to all of you. So connect with your Profit Concierge. Make sure you get on the, look, we have limited spots for these welcome calls. So jump on it, and we will get your welcome calls done as soon as possible. They are based on first come, first serve. So this is going to be available to you. Please let us know how we can support you. Again, if you guys just joined this call or you joined late, please go back and watch the beginning. Let us know you're here. Introduce yourself and let us know what you are up to in the world. And until next time, guys, just as a reminder, next Training Thursday is fantastic. I'm doing a state of the business landscape with 3 of my strategic partners who are also on my team here, Laura, I'll bring my new pen and show up ready. Yes. Okay. So I'm doing and we're going to be talking about what's working in the market and what's not working. So do make sure that you show up and that you connect with us on that call, and or that you mark your calendar and watch the replay. All right, everyone, I want to thank you so much for joining us for Training Thursday. Until next time, I'll see you guys next week. Bye, everyone.